My name is Lisa Vargas, and I currently reside in Orlando, Florida. I am a wife, a mother of two boys, a professional, and an advocate. We are the employment group, and we will be discussing the discovery process and the importance of implementation. The discovery process is a center person approach to gather information about a student prior to discussing potential jobs. Discovery assists in revealing a person's interests, skills, and supports and environments and activities. Discovery seeks to understand various facets of a student's life in order to discover who they are. The strategy utilizes already existing information instead of information developed through typical evaluations. The discovery process is built on the concept of honoring students with a disability by ensuring the focus remains on them. My oldest son, Isaiah, who is 14 years old, was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. Isaiah was immediately labeled a behavioral situation. I was told many times I will never make it far in life. He will never make it far in life with his aggressive behavior. As a parent, hearing those words, it will tear you into pieces. For my husband and I, it became a challenge. We immediately integrated behavior therapy in the home, worked with the teachers to simulate what they're doing in the classroom, and integrated Isaiah in different activities in the community. Our persistence has led us to many positive outcomes. Isaiah is currently in high school, part of the Special Olympics 2022 surfing team, a Life Scout rank for Troop 210 in Winter Garden, and hoping of becoming an aerospace engineer because he loves airplanes. I can now say aggressive behaviors are a thing of the past. The current focus is what are the options after he completes high school? It's sad to say not many options are available for a kid with special needs who has done everything we asked of him. We provide so many resources for children from the moment they are diagnosed until the ages of 18 to 22. Why does it take parents to research on or learn in a policy-making class that there are other options beyond the age of 18, such as the discovery process? From research, we have learned that the discovery process uncovers the best aspects of the students by looking further into routines, relationship, challenges, associations, friendships, conditions for success, tasks, solutions, connections, education, locations, and life performance. The discovery process identifies a direction for employment that is based on information obtained by the person's entire life and not from the instance or performance. The information from the discovery process will never be used to systematically exclude a person from employment. The discovery process employs observation to see how students interact and perform. The profile strategy seeks to empower and involve students, their families, and friends rather than exclude them. The big question is, why are resources like the discovery process not discussed during the IEP meeting before entering high school? We advocate for the discovery process to be implemented in every school as part of the IEP process during transition from middle school to high school. Life for people with disabilities does not stop between the ages of 18 and 22. People with disabilities have every right to have resources to help them be successful in life. As parents of children such as Isaiah, Paul, Max, and Naya, we are asking for better resources to help our children for the future. The discovery process seems to be the best tool to seek to understand a student with special needs. I will now leave you with Amanda.
My name is Amanda Hayes, and I'm from Palaca in Putnam County. I am the mother of four with two boys on the spectrum or autism spectrum. I am also a human resources manager. These two roles have opened my eyes to the challenges that our disabled community faces when trying to find work. I believe the journey should start while they're in school, and that's where the discovery process comes into play. The purpose of the discovery process is to do an individualized deep dive into the skills and strengths of students with disabilities by getting to know them and helping them get to know themselves. This process allows them to narrow down their focus and helps set the foundation for employment planning. It takes the student's individualized education plan to the next level by including the new information of learning strategies and training opportunities that lead to the individual's desired employment outcome. What our group found when researching the discovery process is that schools aren't required to provide the service, and out of our our four school systems, only one knew what discovery was. Some schools provide some sort of transition service, but it isn't nearly as in depth as the discovery process. My oldest son, Paul, who is 20 years old and on the autism spectrum, cannot get a job because he has no idea what his skills are or what kind of work would interest him. Discovery would have benefited him by teaching him early what he would be best suited for and by giving him the opportunity to network with local businesses to build those relationships. It would also have gotten him more involved in the community. The discovery process is a team effort that involves the individual, their family, their teachers, and other support personnel. It is a lengthy process because it involves assessments and observing the student in several different settings to truly get to know them. The greatest benefit of discovery is that it looks at the individual's strengths. Many times, people with disabilities are automatically told that they can't do or what they can't do instead of looking for what they can do. This is what this process does. It helps build the person up instead of tearing them down. This sets them up for a positive experience. Other benefits are the identification of support needs, accommodations, and a better understanding of the student by their support staff. We're advocating to require schools to implement the discovery process for all students with disabilities to set them up for success for when they transition from high school. As someone who is the mother of and works with people with disabilities, I can tell you that they just want a chance to be included and to become a contributing member of society. And it's the least we can do to help them achieve their dreams. Thank you. And now I will leave you with Joanne.
My name is Joan James. I live in Devonport, Polk County, and I am the mom to three very tall young men, the youngest of them being Max. Max will be 18 at the end of February. Max regressed into autism at the age of 4. We left the UK to live in Florida when Max was 12 for a better life for him and to give him the time in the education system to reach his full potential. Children graduate high school at 16 in the UK, and there is very little provision for children like Max after that time. It was quite an adjustment for Max. Differences in terminology for everyday objects were confusing at first. However, Max is a loving, kind, empathetic young man who is extremely polite, and although he has a limited verbal ability or conversational skills, he always receives the Good Citizen Award at school for his manners and for helping others with their manners. He's kind of a manners monitor. He's fortunate enough, however, not to have any other health needs and does not require any medications or any outside services. Max is about to graduate high school at the end of the school year and defer his diploma so that he may be able to embark on his transition years in the same high school and utilise vocational rehab services. The precursor to vocational rehab should be the discovery process, but having met with the senior manager of VR for my local public school district, it became very apparent that they are not using discovery. They're in fact using an older version, more top-line questioning that didn't allow the student to fully explore their strengths in order to determine their employability goals to a level that would give them the best chances of success. And also, it's just not being introduced until they're 18. In accordance to the CDC, 17.8% of all students aged between 3 and 17 have a developmental disability, and the trend shows that this number is increasing over time. That's almost 18%. Max has always been fascinated by firehouses, firefighters, fire trucks, and he can tell you the name of every piece of equipment that you use on every single fire. So this is him in the UK, and this is him once he gets to the US. He even made it to the local TV news when he was invited to the firehouse in Port St. Lucie to see their autism awareness fire truck and have a tour of the firehouse, riding in the truck, wearing the suit, the boots, the helmet, and even answering a mock emergency from the control centre. It made for an amazing day for Max. Because if you were to ask Max from being quite a young age what he wants to be when he grows up, he would always say a firefighter. But using the current system, if you were to pose that question to Max, he would not be anywhere near successful in his goal, as it would be assumed that with a significant cognitive disability, that it would be unsafe. And so automatically he would be pushed in an alternate direction, not of his choosing, and probably nowhere near a firehouse. By using discovery, though, it would have been easier to determine a role within the fire service that Max would be able to do for himself and more suited to his strengths. By using more discovery questions, if you were to ask Max, would you like to drive a fire truck? His response would be very politely, oh no, not me, Max. And again, this would close down that conversation. And Max wouldn't be able to drive a fire truck. He understands this. He could possibly drive a golf cart, but once we've added other vehicles and traffic and not being able to predict people's responses or avoid or prevent an accident, then that puts an end to that. If you were again to ask Max if he would like to fight fires and rescue people, again he would say no, thank you. And so you would start to begin to think, is he even interested in a career within the fire department? So how can Max achieve his goal of being in the fire department? Well, just by asking a few further questions in a non-threatening way, it would be possible to assist and uncover where Max does see his role in the firehouse. Hospitality is the leading revenue generator for the state of Florida. We are, after all, the theme park capital. And if it would make perfect sense that VR services would have an abundance of hospitality vendors for these young students to begin their training and work experience. But no, this is not the case. And anyway, what has this got to do with a firehouse? Well, every firehouse needs a cook and every cook needs an assistant. You see, Max just wants to be with the firefighters. He wants to be where they are, he wants to wear the uniform, and he wants to feel part of the team. I realise I can no longer wait for somebody else to assist my son to reach his dreams and employment goals, as discovery should be starting much earlier, in fact at 12 years old. And also I believe that discovery should be repeated throughout that time for each student to stay on track and make sure that we are nurturing those skills to assist them to reach their full potential. Max has already been left behind. Students, parents, guardians, carers, education, we should all be working together to a common goal, utilising discovery in the same way across the country and feeling supported in their outcomes. I believe Max will make beverages and assist the cook in the firehouse kitchen. By the time he leaves education at 22, he will be wearing that uniform with his colleagues and he'll be feeling proud of himself and his achievements. I love this quote from Audrey Hepburn. Nothing is impossible, for the very word itself says, I'm possible. Employment for this 18% of the student population comes down to one basic human quality. All we have to do to change someone's life is to care. Please assist us in ensuring all schools have the knowledge and resources to implement discovery for the start of the 2022 school year. They are aware of it, but they don't have the resources in order to roll that out and to live discovery for these kids. Thank you for your time.
My name is Danielle Manserwala, and I'm a parent advocate for Naya. This is my daughter, 6 years old, and my nephew, Tristan, who's 15. So Naya was diagnosed with CHARD syndrome at the age of 6 months. CHARD syndrome is a rare congenital disorder that affects several organs. CHARD syndrome is a genetic syndrome. It is extremely complex syndrome involving extensive medical and physical difficulties that differ from child to child. Most with CHARD syndrome have hearing loss, vision loss, and balance problems that delay their development and communication. Despite these obstacles, children with CHARD syndrome often surpass their medical, physical, educational, and social expectations. One of the hidden features of CHARD syndrome is the determination and strong character these children display. I choose to be an advocate to create a better life for those like my daughter and my nephew. My hope is at the time my daughter's 14, by 2030, she can receive services like the discovery process. So we can make educated decisions about her future, decisions based on her interests and skills she possesses, and not someone's opinion of what is best for her. Speaking from experience as I advocate for my nephew, who's 15 years old, that was placed in special needs very early on at the age of 4, special needs class, I'm sorry, at the age of 4. He was never given a chance to prove his skills. Tristan is now in the 8th grade after learning about his rights with the help of an advocate. He was proven he has proven potential in succeeding in regular classes due to his IQ. We unfortunately found this too late because he is now in the 8th grade. He is having a hard time not making friends, getting through classes as a regular junior high student, but also the workload and responsibility that he never had before. Tristan is in the spectrum, not able to communicate like kids his age, maybe not able to do math like kids his age, but is very polite and kind and has skills. My hope is that with help of services like the discovery process, we can help Tristan find his way. I sometimes wonder if Tristan had been introduced to the discovery process at an earlier age, where he would be today. The lack of resources can destroy the future of any child. We as parents simply want to have confidence in the system. We want to give our children a fair chance to achieve their goals, achieve their goals to live an independent life, and ultimately be a contributing member to society. Why wait until they're 18 when we can start now? We have gone away from helping kids who they to help them. Sorry, we have gone away from helping kids with who they want to be and focused more on testing. We need to focus on where we're going and how we're getting there. Our kids do not like surprises or last minute changes. They need routine and consistency. This will allow for a more comfortable transition when changes arise. The discovery process introduces a wide variety of career options to children, allowing a safe place for them to express their interests with no judgment. We need to start assisting them as soon as they enter junior high to get the wheels turning early. We believe that reintroducing this process every other year allows a child to revisit, reassess their goals, and keep them engaged, motivated, and on track. My hope for the future is that we create a system we can trust, which allows our children to have better direction and guidance for their future. Having hope that there is something out there for all of us, no matter what stage or disability we have, and we all are equal and important. Thank you for your time today.